Welcome to day 14. Today, we're going to cover one of my favorite topics across all of my teachings. So thus far, you have learned how to get yourself into the state of bending reality. You've learned to craft a vision for the future. This is phenomenal. But I want you to know this. As you go through life, things will happen that are going to jolt you off the path. Things are going to happen that will shake your belief in your vision or shake your discipline. How do you stay immune to this inevitable road bump, to criticisms, to judgments, to failure? The secret is a mindset that I call becoming unfuckwithable. Now, don't get hung up on that word if you're the type of person who believes that the F word is bad. Remember what I said. Words don't have any meaning except the meaning we give it. Words are simply a construct. I love the word fuck. In fact, I want you to say it with me right now. Fuck, fuck, fuckity fuck. Get over your hang-ups on this word. This is actually part of your training. Don't you dare judge me or judge anyone who uses that word because it is simply a word. And actually, it's one of the most powerful words in the English language. It's a word that adds emotion and magnifies any sentence. It's also one of the most joyful expressions of being you can have. To fuck someone, to create new life. So again, I'm deliberately tossing that word and trying to trigger you so you get rid of the bullshit meaning-making machine in your mind that's making you judge the word. Now, why is it that I can use a word like that? Well, frankly, I like the word. Secondly, I don't really give a fuck what you think about me for using this word because I am unfuckwithable. Let me explain what that means. The word unfuckwithable started out as an internet meme, and this is the basic definition. It says, when you're truly at peace and in touch with yourself, nothing anyone says or does bothers you and no negativity can touch you. This is a powerful state, and there's so much wisdom in this idea. I don't know who came up with the word unfuckwithable. It's a meme that's been all over the internet for several years now, since 2015. Several people were sending it to me. There was no author cited. If you came up with this, know that I'm deeply appreciative of you and who you are. So now, let's get started with your unfuckwithability training. I'm a big Star Wars fan. As you can tell, I am a geek. I studied computer engineering. Obviously, I'm going to be into Star Wars. But one of my favorite lines in Star Wars is the scene when Yoda warns young Anakin, the fear of loss is a path to the dark side. Train yourself to let go of everything you fear to lose. Anakin, of course, doesn't fully grasp the advice. He moves to the dark side and ends up becoming Darth Vader. But what did Yoda really mean? Train yourself to let go of everything you fear to lose. This is what I think Yoda meant when he said that. To truly be a great warrior in the world, you have to step beyond your fear. It's inevitable that we get attached to our title at work. We get attached to people. We get attached to our lovers. We get attached to praise. We get attached to awards. But actually, what you're really getting attached to is not the person, is not the title. You're getting attached to the feeling you get from those people or objects. This is why you fear losing them. This is why you fear criticism. This is why you get hung up and attached to getting praise. What we often fear is not losing someone, but losing that part of us that this someone makes us feel. This happens when we attach our own sense of self-worth and worthiness to something else. To be unfuckwithable means to be really solid and grateful for who you are, so that criticism doesn't jar you and praise doesn't hook you. In other words, you can embrace criticism as information. You can choose to ignore it or act on it. You obviously want to choose to feel good about it, but you don't need to seek it on a daily basis to validate yourself. Extraordinary minds do not need to seek validation from outside opinion or through the attainment of goals. Instead, they are truly at peace with themselves and the world around them. They live fearlessly, immune to criticism or praise, and fueled by their own inner happiness and self-love. So how do you become unfuckwithable? The first key step is self-fueled goals. In the previous days, you learned the concept of end goals. You set end goals in experiences, growth, and contribution. Now what you're actually going to do is to look at these end goals and make sure that within these end goals, you have self-fuel goals. I want to tell you what a self-fuel goal is. A self-fuel goal is a goal where if you lost everything in life, you lost your connections, you lost your money, and you woke up homeless in the streets of New York, you could still attain your self-fuel goals that day. An example self-fuel goal might be, I'm always surrounded by love. I can be homeless in the streets of New York, and I know if I have an understanding that love can come from inside, I can be surrounded by love. I don't need someone else to see me or recognize me. I can feel a love coming from my own appreciation and honoring of myself. Another example of a self-fuel goal might be, I am always learning and growing every day. Again, you can be homeless in the streets of New York, but you can go to the New York Public Library, check out a book, sit on a street corner, and read. Another example of a self-fuel goal is that every day I have an opportunity where I'm surrounded by beauty. Again, you can be homeless in the streets of New York, but you can walk to Central Park and gaze upon the beautiful meadows and the trees. You see, self-fuel goals are goals which are so easy to execute that you can lose everything and you can still hit these goals. When you do this, you develop a sense of security and safety that makes you unfuckwithable. Elon Musk has a remarkable story about this. In an interview with Neil deGrasse Tyson, Elon Musk spoke about an experiment he did when he was young. He tried to see if he could survive on $1 a day. And he found that for a month he could. For $1 a day, he could go to a Walmart or a Myers in the United States and buy ramen noodles and water and survive on that. He had a dorm room provided by the university. He didn't have to worry about a roof over his head, and he could survive on $1 a day. And he said in that interview with Neil deGrasse Tyson that it gave him a sense of boldness and safety that allowed him to do everything else he did, from start PayPal to Tesla to SpaceX. Elon Musk was training himself to be unfuckwithable. Now you can do this too. Set self-fueled goals. A few years ago, when the idea of self-fueled goals came to me, I realized that I was setting the wrong goals. I'd set a goal to have an incredible relationship with my then wife, Christina. I'd set a goal to spend a lot of time with my children every week, Hayden and Eve. These seem like normal goals, and they are great goals. But what I realized is that I was setting these goals because I wanted to experience being loved. But I didn't have a direct goal to experience being loved, and that put me in a dangerous situation. I was setting goals based on expecting other people to live life in a certain way around me. What if Christina and I decided to divorce or part ways? What if my children move off to university and I no longer have them close by? Do I now feel sad and depressed? So I changed my goal. I still have goals to have an incredible relationship with my children. I still have goals to have incredible, beautiful, intimate, meaningful, wonderful relationships with women. But I also have a goal that says this: I'm always surrounded by love, because I know that that goal is self-fueled. I can generate that love from within, even if I'm alone in my home doing nothing that day and not seeing another human being. That is what a self-fueled goal does for you. Now, years after I stumbled upon self-fueled goals, I would end up going through a divorce. Me and Christina would part ways. We used a method called conscious uncoupling from Catherine Woodward Thomas, one of our Mind Valley authors, and we parted ways in the most beautiful, conscious way possible. But because I had self-fueled goals, and so did she, we felt safe. We knew that even though we were no longer going to be living together, we could still be friends, and that the love that we needed to go forward in life could come from within. Self-fueled goals make you more immune to the inevitable disruptions that life might toss at you to help you grow. Self-fueled goals, therefore, reduce the pain of kensho and help you grow through life with more ease. Unfuckwithability is replacing fear with courage, and self-fueled goals give you that courage because you know ultimately you are safe. So what you're going to do now is an exercise to look back at your 3 most important questions. You're going to look at experiences, you're going to look at growth, and you're going to look at meaning. And you're going to write down self-fuel goals for all of those categories. And the question I want you to ask yourself is this: if you were homeless, could you still attain these goals on a daily basis? Let's look at some examples. Here are some examples of self-fuel goals for experiences. You might state, I go to bed every day expressing gratitude for who I am. That's a choice you can make. You might also state, I wake up every morning in a good mood. That again is a choice you can make through the practice of gratitude. You might state, I take a walk every day and practice awe and reverence for all the life I see. These are all examples of self-fuel goals under experiences that you could do even in the most insane, difficult time, being homeless and losing everything and everyone you know. Now, you don't have to make it that dramatic, but that filter helps you identify a self-fuel goal. Now, let's go on to self-fuel goals for growth. An example might be, I am reading 10 pages every single day. Or, I am growing and learning something new every single day. Or I'm journaling, collecting my thoughts, and engaging in critical reflection to make myself a better person every single day. You could also write down a more metaphysical self-fuel goal for growth. Every week, the universe gives me a powerful lesson to make me a better person. Now let's go on to the last category, contribution. These are some self-fuel goals you could write down for contribution. I am kind to everyone I see. I look people in the eye and I appreciate them. I give 3 compliments to fellow human beings every single day. You don't have to have anything, but you can easily attain those self-fuel goals. So your homework is to look at your 3 most important questions and to write down 3 self-fuel goals in each of the categories: experiences, growth, and contribution. The best part about these self-fuel goals is you're going to nail them. They're that easy. You can accomplish them today even. But as you do that, you give yourself a little boost of courage and confidence. You make yourself more unfuckwithable, and you start to understand that you are well taken care of and that nothing can truly, deeply hurt you. This is the first step for becoming unfuckwithable. Tomorrow, we're going to go into the second step.